Fucking hell. How are you, alright?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good. I see you panicking there. You're holding your head in that.
I know, I was like, oh, fuck, this is the first one I've been trusted to do myself, and I fucked it. It's usually one of the other lads that deals with all the technical side of things, but they left me in charge of it tonight.
You got the short end of the straw.
No, it was me. It was campaigning to get you on.
Oh, nice.
They're more into like football and music. I was like, nah, get an MMA guy on.
Aye. People want to see blood, don't they?
That's it, and quite right. So before we get started, I feel like congratulations is in order, because I've seen on your Instagram that you're about to be a dad. When you due?
I'm due in the morning because I'm a fat pie, but my girlfriend's due in fucking April.
Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Aye.
This is me going to reading all my things, so I'll be brushing up.
Getting all your breathing exercises on point.
or no breathing, try to suffocate myself.
Fuck it, we all do it. Fuck that. Nice. Again, I can only apologise about the earlier mishaps with technical issues. So, the first question, what made you decide to take up MMA out of all the sports in the world?
See, that's a tough one. I've always, since I've been like in school and that, man, I've always been fighting. I've always been a bit of a wee bam or bit of maybe ADHD, a bit of this, bit of that. But MMA specifically was mainly a trend. Like fighting, I quite like in general. Like just, I couldn't actually tell you what actually drives me towards it. I think it'll be obviously in me as such. Like I was talking to my girlfriend, we were watching a podcast with James English on it the other day, and there was like a guy, a football hooligan, and he was on it, and I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I'd actually like to go and do a bit of fighting, fucking shit like that. Like it's not because I want to support football, it's just that I like fighting, and it's weird funny, it's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like, can't quite put my finger on it, but I didn't really decide I was going to be MMA fighter, you know. It was like more, I did it for the love of it, because my mum passed away, and then I decided, you know, I'm going to concentrate a wee bit on myself, and like I said before in my other interviews and that, like it's a wee bit of an epiphany, if you like, and just from there it just drives, it's just slowly cycled, and I've got better, I've got quicker, I've got faster, I've got fitter, you know. So it's just been one thing led to another, and then here we are today, signed to one of the biggest promotions in the world.
No, and it's great to see like a wee guy from Scotland like yourself and like Chris Duncan out there flying the flag for Scottish MMA. Because I remember the first time I ever seen you, it was on that On Top Showdown when you fought Stephen Moore, and you won.
Oh yeah.
In the third round, and see, because I think Duncan was fighting that night as well. I think he beat Niall Smith.
You fought Niall Smith.
Aye, so to see both you and Bungard, both from a wee community centre, it was a sports hall in Linwood, to one of the biggest promotions in the world. I think it's a great motivator for anyone wanting to get interested in the sport, and both of you will go down the same route as Robert Whiteford and like the likes of Joanna Calderwood and Paul Craig as pioneers of the sport. So we can only thank yourselves for doing such great work.
Definitely, it's good to be involved. You know, Scotland's such a small place. You know, I feel Scotland's a wee bit behind, because I think in the past previously that they're like, come to my gym, come to this gym, come to that gym, and I think now Scotland's starting to become, because it's so small, they're starting to become more inclined to train with other gyms. You know, I was away to America and that, but now I'm starting to dabble into Chris Bungar's gym, higher level, you know, all these sort of different places. So up at Ross Houston's place, there's no point fighting in your backyard when you've got the whole world to fight. So It's just you've got to use the tools that you've got and fight without Scotland. Scotland's tiny. You can drive top to bottom in a full day, so I don't see why you need to be fighting your own guys.
No, that's a great way to look at it, because I do feel that sometimes it can be a bit cliquey.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely.
So you touched on him a bit. We touched on him a bit there, like Robert Whiteford. How big an impact he had in your career?
Oh, massively, aye. So me and Robert got together about, I couldn't even say. It was before I was professional, so it was over 4 or 5 years ago. It's one of those ones that, you know, being young and that, being a young throbber, think I could maybe do him in and all that sort of stuff. You know, I had a bit of an ego. And then get me on the mat, and then, you know, all of a sudden he's fucking throw me up in the air and that, you know. So that definitely puts you in your check, you know. And you need to find yourself with these guys, and like, it's not humbling in a sense, because I quite expected to be kind of thrown about, but it's good to know that there's actual levels to the sport, so you don't just rock up and anybody on any given day should be able to throw me about, you know. So it should be like, guys have got to put the work in, and he was a big eye-opener for me, really focusing on my wrestling and my grappling and that, because I found there was a wee bit of a hole there, but not anymore.
Yeah. Because do you feel that, like you spoke about levels, do you feel like the level out in Scotland's now increasing?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But not only in the sense of that, but like I'm doing the travelling, right? So I'm putting in the sacrifices to train all these boys. If you look at my Instagram, I'm going to Hit Squad, I'm going to Higher Level, I'm training with Robert, I'm going to Ross Houston's. You know, I'm doing all the travelling, So I'm on my own wee journey here, So these guys they want to train with me, but I'm putting the effort in, and I know exactly where I want to be in a couple of years' time. So, like, having a fight and then getting a rest, that's not what I'm doing now. Like, I'm getting a fight and I'm in the gym. I was in the gym, when was I in the gym? Monday, when I got back from my fight. I nearly had a fight in France on Saturday, but that fell through. But, you know, I'm on my own wee path, and I just need a wee kick up the arse now and again, just to keep me in check and tell me when I need to have a rest and that. But until then, I've got goals to be hitting. You know, I'll rest when I'm dead, pretty much.
I'm sure your girlfriend and then your future kid will give you a good kick up in the arse.
Oh, definitely. No, that's these people. Sometimes I feel myself getting a bit annoyed with people, because they're like, "Oh, that'll be the training thrown at the window." Then I was like, "Do you fucking realise what I do? Like, this is my life now. Like, I'll soon give up everything else before I give up that." So some people have been nice about it, saying that it's going to be the best thing for you, it's going to be a drive. But other people have been quite, I don't think they've tried to be nasty, but they've said a kind of snidey comment, meaning that I'm going to have to stop training and I'm going to get sleepless nights and all that, you know. I've been PTing all my days, so like I've been going to my bed at 12 o'clock at night and getting up at 5 to go to the gym. So like I've had 6 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep, and I used to go out getting smashed on a Saturday and going to the gym on a Sunday morning. So I know how to have no sleep. So I've had it all, and I'm just looking forward to it. It'll be another focal point in my life, you know.
I think that's just part of Scottish culture. I think everybody uses everything as a kind of negative, but as you were saying there, you'll use it to push you on. It gives you something to fight for.
It's not going to slow me down, like.
No.
Like, it's people use that as an excuse. You know, well, I think we're the only fucking country in the world that's worried about the pubs being shut now. Like, I don't understand why. Like, just get a fucking couple of bottles of beer and go to your pal's house. It doesn't matter. Like, come on to fuck. But so it's like you say, it's just the culture we're in. It's just everybody's looking for that easy road out, aren't they?
You seen that at the weekend? There was busloads of folk going to Blackpool to sit in a pub.
I know.
You watch the fit fan, you're like, can you just get a couple of crates for Morrison's and sit in the house?
I get it. Oh man, I don't know, but just culture's a bit funny, you know. I wish we were a bit more inclined like America. You know, they've got these NFL young lads and that, they're like 16 years old, they're getting pumped millions of pounds into them, and they're turning out to be absolute machines, like absolute freaks of nature because of the training regime, you know. But what can you do?
And you see that as well in MMA, because even at school level, at high school level, like the kids are taught martial arts, they're taught to wrestle, and it's
Exactly.
sport, and that's how they're so fucking dominant, because for a young age they're learning all these drills, whereas a lot of what they're learning at school, a lot of these other lads are needing to go elsewhere.
I wasn't even allowed to play football at my school because I could have smashed the windy. These kids are doing wrestling, boxing, NFL, you know what I mean? It's like, and then now all the schools are worried about the kids doing too many headers at the football.
Aye.
And then they're like, fuck me, like I'm getting punched in the face millions of times a day, and then they're worried about you heathering a football. Jesus fuck.
See, you did say there, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. You said you got offered a fight in Paris. Are you able to say who it was?
Aye, well, I was going to fight Davy Gallen.
Right, okay.
So he's a French guy. I've never really heard of him until then. He did a like rolling thunder kick to Ross Pearson.
Right, okay.
So, fuck knows, he maybe shattered or something, but I don't know. I accepted the fight, and I said to him to meet me halfway with the weight, because obviously I'd been smashing chinkies and that. So I was going to take the fight on 2 days' notice, but I wouldn't have been able to make the weight. If I had 5 days, I would have been able to make the weight. It was more of a process that my body needs to go through. It's not so much losing body fat, you know. My body would have just been holding on to salt, water, all that sort of stuff from the bad food and all the donuts.
I think after watching your fight the other weekend, there'll be a lot of folk in the Bellator roster that'll be shiting themselves. I must admit, you did look.
Aye, definitely, mate, definitely. I just went out there to prove a point, because a couple of things happened to me throughout the whole thing. You know, people forgetting things and not knowing who I am. You know, like they forgot my fight poster. You know, and then they said, "Oh, we'll get it to you as soon as." And you know, in the back of my mind, I wasn't angry at Bellator, but I was just like, you know what, I'll fucking show you. Rather than moaning and greeting and fucking making a big deal about it, I was like, I'll show you. And then Jude Samuel, he's one of the matchmakers there. He said to me in the elevator, I'm going to put you on the main card. And then that was just like a little bit of fire lit under my arse, and I was just like, here we go. These people are going to know who I am now.
That gave them a reason to know. Forget your poster.
Exactly.
Aye, and I think that's what you done, and like calling out Peter Queally calling out Kiefer Crosby after the fight, like that I heard that, and it was getting me a bit excited, because I think these are quite similar, that he's both like to hover around. I was getting quite excited about the thought of that fight, but watching him, I think his next fight's going to be Charlie Leary. I think they're going to go back to that and try and have a rematch there.
Fucking hell, that's going to be terrible. It'll be like two retards having a fight.
So if it's no Kiefer Crosby next, who would you be looking for?
Well, Charlie Leary, or I don't know. I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? It's like, in the back of my mind, I want that Kiefer Crosby, because he's walking about like he's a bit of a ticket, like big Kiefer Crosby. You know, it's just his arrogance. You know, I passed him in the hallway, and I nodded to him to acknowledge him, to say hi, and he's like nodded at me back, but he's got two carpets underneath his arms, and he's walking like this. So I was like, for fuck's sake, like, Jesus Christ, you don't need to prove to me that you're a walloper. But anyway,
can you not just do us all a favour and smash Peter Queally now?
Aye, big upset.
He's that fucking annoying.
Oh no, he keeps getting injured though, man. These SPG guys, they keep pulling out on us, eh? So I've had two SPG guys, and they've both pulled out 2 weeks out from the fight. You know, I think they've lost it a wee bit up here. A lot of pressure on them, eh?
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. Because obviously John Kavanagh and the SPG guys seem to be the forefront of Bellator at the moment. So it's a lot of pressure, isn't it, for these guys? You know, don't get me wrong, man. Like, it is pressure. Like, I even feel pressure going in there. So this SBG fucking carry on, you know, it is add the pressure to the fighter that they don't need, you know. And that's why I've got like my managers and stuff like that. They're helping me out, you know. They're dealing with my sponsorships. They're dealing with this. They're dealing with that. You know, all I need to focus on is training and fighting. You know, and all these guys they're getting the media. They're getting this. They're getting that. They're getting everything more than we are. You know, so there's no media guys coming into my house, but there'll be media guys into their house doing wee bits on them. You know, boosting their profile, and then obviously they go into their fight and get licked, but at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't really matter.
That was it. When Bellator was doing their big kind of recruitment Europe, it seemed to be about 50% of the fighters was from Ireland.
Yeah.
We're missing so much talent, like Scotland, England, Wales, France, Germany, just to kind of bring in folk that are only really known because of McGregor. And I know that's harsh to say, but I think that's how a lot of the focus was put in that gym, was because of Conor McGregor.
It's just pulling on a market that's sellable, because before I fought Sam Slater, I was going to go to SBG, and I booked my ferry, I booked my hotel, and then within that morning I booked it. And that afternoon, my manager phoned me. He goes, "Oh, do you want to fight this guy?" And I was like, "Where's he fight from?" And he's like, "Oh, SBG Ireland." I was like, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, "Should I fight him or should I go training?" She's like, "Fight him." And I was like, "Oh well, I'll fight him then." So that was like, I was in two minds, because I was like struggling for training partners in that stage, and she was like, "Just fight him." And I was like, "All right, okay." She knows best.
No, quite right. So would you be up for a fight with Terry Brazier? Because I think,
mate, anybody in my division, like they're supposed to put like these guys, you know, it's not really in like, I tried to call it Kiefer Crosby, so we'll see what happens. But like Terry Brazier if he wants, but he's another guy that's just came off a loss, you know. Like, these are the guys that I've had my eye on. Terry Brazier got kneed in the dip and he got knocked out by a breakdancer. And then he was only about 5'8", so Terry Brazier or Kiefer Crosby, you know, it's like people keep saying like names like that, you know, but I'm not really impressed with their performance. Like Terry Brazier is a bit rough and ready, you know. He's probably more of a grinder, you know. And then you get Kiefer Crosby that I don't even know what he is, to be honest, but you know, these names, like I don't really feel like I'm in control of who I'm going to fight next, just because I'm at the bottom of the ladder still.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I'm willing to fight anybody at any given time, and that's my manager's job to put these guys in front of me, and also my coaches, because you know I'd fight anybody in that roster because of who I am and what I am. But as I said, it's my manager's choice and also my coach's choice, because I'm always going to nod the head and go, "Yep, okay, just sign my paper," you know. But that's the fighter mentality. That's not just me. That's everybody. You know, that's not me, and I'm the only guy that does that. That is the fighter's mentality, and that is what everybody would do, because you can't be a bitch and pull out in that either.
Because then you get a bit of a reputation, don't you? If that's.
Oh, definitely. I was meant to fight that Philip Mulpeter. Do you know who he is?
I don't think so.
Well, I looked on his tapology when I got matched with him, and I seen he probably had more cancelled bouts than he actually had fights he's actually fought and won. So I was like, oh, he's going to pull out. And then, lo and behold, 3 weeks out, he pulled out. And then that's when I got Furtado.
Yes, so you mentioned about not being in control, something you can be in control of, and it's something I think all the fans in Scotland are wanting, is how close do you think it will be for Bellator to come to the Hydro, but after all the madness of the pandemics calmed down?
Well, fucking Nicola Sturgeon needs to get her finger out her own arse before she can go anywhere. But I don't know, man. It's one of the ones. I think the talent is here. There's Ross Houston, Robert Whiteford, Chris Bungard, and there's me. Like the talent in the pool's there. Like we could get a main event, a co-main event, and then prelim fights from all those fights. So I think it's inevitable, but I think this pandemic is just not allowing it, because France and Italy are open for doing events, but I don't think Scotland will, you know? Like, we're not even allowed to have restaurants open at the moment. It's wild.
Aye. We covered that. So do you have any thoughts on the fights over the weekend?
Just past there.
This one coming up.
I want Gaethje to win, man. He's a fucking machine.
Aye.
Mate. See if I'm trying to, my style is kind of similar to that in a sense. He's a bit more savage at the moment, but I've got time to grow, you know. I'd love to be able to fight like him. He doesn't give a fuck, does he?
No.
He just does not care.
It's that way as well. Like, people sleep on his wrestling. Like, everybody's saying that Khabib's going to go in and just ragdoll him because all they see he's standing banging, and it's that, well, the guy's an NCAA Division 1 All-American earlier. Like, he can fucking wrestle. He just doesn't show it because he's a fucking maniac.
People are like, oh, he's just going to stand his hands up and then Khabib's going to take him down. But you not think that guy at that level is going to make some adjustments for this fight? Like, do you not think he's going to do something a little bit different because it's Khabib? Of course he is. I think it's just, I really do hope Justin Gaethje wins it, eh? I really do.
I think it'd probably be the best thing for the division.
Definitely.
Open a bit more.
Yeah, I think there would be an immediate rematch, obviously, because Khabib's dad and all that's passed away. And, I think there would be an immediate rematch. But I do think it's a good fight. And I do think if Justin Gaethje can beat him once, he'll beat him twice.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, did you have any thoughts on Ross Houston's fight?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I would say this to his face as well. I just think that they both didn't pull the trigger. Like, I think they were both waiting to counter each other. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, aye.
Ross is more of a counter striker. I've trained with him before, and so is MVP. So they're both trying to counter each other, counter the counter, rather than just fucking. See when I seen MVP put his hands up, I knew there was something wrong. Like, I knew. Like, obviously, when you're in the fight, it's a little bit different. But see, when the MVP just put his hands up, I was like, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with his leg or something. So that's when I would have pulled the trigger, But I text Ross today, actually. We're going to get some training in next week. So, but do you know what, man? It's maybe a good thing for Ross. He knows he can hang with these guys. And also, that's took the 0 off his record. So there's no stress now. There's no, everybody's like, your O's got to go, that's me 7-0. Everybody's like, how important is it for you to keep that 0? That's a little bit added stress onto it as well. So I think Ross will just grow from here, eh?
It's that way. Like John Kavanagh says, you either win or you learn.
Exactly. Right. So if you didn't get anything from that, he's silly,
Yeah.
I know even me just watching that myself, I learned a lot from it, just for that point striking and all that sort of stuff, that sort of guy. He's a dangerous motherfucker, that MVP.
Oh, aye.
So it's just one of those things. So is Ross. He's just needing another chance. He's just needing another guy to get in there and fight again. I don't know who he'll be matched up next, but
I think it's a good testament to the respect that Bellator obviously had for him in his Cage Warrior days, because they put him up against the second guy in the division who's only lost once, and that was Douglas Lima, who's a fucking maniac. It shows.
I stood next to that guy, man. He's fucking massive. That's why I'm staying at lightweight, because I've just not got the frame for welterweight. We see how big Ross is against me.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to stay down at this weight and stay at lightweight forever. Hide away from the big boys.
Earlier on the podcast, you mentioned about going over to America. So, who's the best guy you've ever trained with?
Probably Renan Moicano. Renan Moicano?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's very well rounded. Yeah. But everybody's got their own wee bits, I train my guy. He's in Bellator as well. He's in the top 10 in Bellator. Sydney Outlaw. He's probably one of the better grapplers I've ever trained against. I've trained with Sabaha Masi. He's in Bellator as well. He just fought a couple of weeks ago. He fought that Curtis guy, but all these guys all have their own wee bit. And it's just good to have a wide range of training partners over there, because you can train with all shapes and sizes, all talents, grappling, striking, and it just gives you a better outlook in your camp, because as I said, you're quite limited over here in Scotland. So as soon as I can get on that plane and get across there and train for a fight camp, I'll go over there. I'll make the sacrifice and just get up and go.
I think it's that old cliche as well that iron sharpens iron. So if you're over there training with the best guys in the world, because I heard you saying that you met Jorge Masvidal. I wasn't sure if you'd trained with him.
Yeah. No, I went into a couple of times into the training room where he was in. It was just good to be in a guy like that's presence. Just to see how hard he works. And I was like in the gym and I seen Jorge Masvidal. I seen Kobe Covington. I seen all these guys at the very top. I was like a wee fanboy when I was in there, man. It was quite cool, and getting pictures with them all and training with like Thiago Alvarez. He was helping coaching, and all these guys, and Mo, Big King Mo. He was there. He's a madman. Like, he's mad. Me and him got on really well, so it's just good. You watch the telly and that, and then all of a sudden you're in a room with these guys. It makes you smile a wee bit. It makes me happy that I've actually came as far as I've came.
I was going to say that it must be a bit surreal. Like you're in that American top team. You're surrounded by arguably the best coaches in the world, and you're just like, I'm just a little wee guy for Stirling. Like, what the fuck's happening?
I know. Just thinking back to myself, I was like, I used to be just a wee boy pushing my pants about fucking 10 years ago, and then you're an American top team.
No, but as we said earlier in the podcast, you're doing amazing, and the likes of you and Bungard, you are really like flying the flag for Scottish MMA. So he's a credit to the sport, and but do you notice a difference in the level of training over there compared to here? Like how big is that?
But it's marginal. But marginal bits make fights. Like if that guy's a couple of percentage fitter than you or slightly better at technique, this game's, you can win and lose in so many different ways that, like every little bit counts. The diet, the training, the fitness, the strength, the technique, the rest, all this sort of stuff comes into play. And that's just a learning curve for myself,
Because that's all kind of tied into, I hate to hark back to it, but Scottish culture. But our diet's shite, our rest is shite, and everything we do is quite.
Yeah. So everyone's dated, man. Everyone's dated. Yeah. Hospitals are dated. It's just the culture that we live in, To be fair, we are an island, so we can get away with it. But don't get me wrong, I love my country and that, but we're fucking light years behind everybody else.
But it must be good to go over there and see like the things that are getting implemented in American top team and being able to bring that back and share with the boys that you train with.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's good to go over there, It's good. I love going over there, but I hate it in the sense, because I'm away from my girlfriend, away from my home, and I'll be away from my baby soon. So it's just one of those things, man. I want to work hard from now until the end of my career, and then that's going to give me a little bit of a nest egg to then live my life with my girlfriend and my babies,
Is it you starting to find that now? Because this is your third fight in Bellator. Are you starting to feel that the other guys in the gym, like the younger guys in the gym, the up and comers, that they're starting to look to you as one of the more experienced heads?
They were doing that anyway before I even fought in Bellator, It's quite good, It's good to pump in it's good to have an input in their career.
Yeah.
I like it. But I don't want to be a coach. That's the thing. I just don't want to be a coach because I feel that being a coach is quite unrewarding in the sense that not everybody deserves your time. And that sounds nasty, but not everybody's willing to put the effort in. Like, when my coach first met me, if he said jump, I would say how high. It's like you need to fall at their feet at in the sense that, like, when I went into the gym, like, I wasn't much of an athlete in the sense that I could maybe only do 3 pull-ups. You know, that's maybe 6 years now I've known Adam. I could probably do 25, 30 pull-ups, you know. You just got to listen and listen. Don't get me wrong, like there's times you're going to argue, like I don't care what anybody says, you know, but there's going to be times you're going to argue and disagree, but that's when your styles clash, because I'm not the same fighter as my coach, and my coach isn't the same fighter as me, so it's going to be that mix. And what I take from him is selective, you know, because not everything is correct from him and not everything is correct from me, so that creates styles and different types of martial arts.
Because do you feel that moving round gyms the way you have, like training under the likes of Brian Gallagher and James Doolan at higher level, do you think that's having a better impact on you because you're experienced in loads of different styles and you're getting the best, feel like the best minds in the country?
Yeah, definitely. Not even that, like they don't really coach me as such, but you know, I go there and try and get what I can, you know. Both gyms, you know, I've never been specifically coached in a sense that I mainly go there for live rounds. Robert Whiteford's definitely passed a lot of information on to me, which I'm grateful of. And then I'm going to America, you know. Like, see if you show me something and it works, like I'll be able to do it within 10 minutes. Like, I kid you not. Like, see if I had somebody right now to be able to show me how to do a backflip, I would do it in 10 minutes. Like, I kid you not. It'd be like, I just need somebody there to be able to show me, you know. I can watch a YouTube video of a move and do it in the gym that night. It's just the way my body works. I don't know, like I hate drilling. Like, see drilling and that, man. Like, doing triangle armbar and blah, 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 back and forth. See, if I watch a video and then they tell me to do that in the live thing, I can kind of do it, Like, I'm more of a visual learner rather than a physical learner or writing it down in paper. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's just the way, because I think it's that way. Every learns different, and the best coaches in the game, they'll realise that and they'll kind of adapt their style accordingly.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's all that we've got for the day. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. No, it's not.
Anytime you want an interview, mate, don't be fear to ask. You know, if I can't do it, I can't do it. You know, if I say nah, I can't this time, I'm busy. But usually I'm like, you know, I've just had my tea and that full. So anytime you want an interview, mate, just give me a wee shout. I'm more than happy to help out.
Oh, that's amazing. And if you could give Chris Duncan and Ross Houston a shout for me as well, they both dinged my messages.
Oh, did they? What dickheads, man.
I know they were bastards.
Hey, that's you talking about them and all that, and then I'm the sound one, you know.
I know you were the first person we messaged like to come on as a guest, because we started the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it's just like me and two of my pals talking shite. I was like, right, you move in the right direction, we need to start getting folk on. So I messaged you, and it was like straight away a reply, and I was like, yes, we're on to a roll. And then I messaged all these other guys, and nobody else replied.
Oh, do you know what, man? It's kind of I do loads of them, mate. I do. They obviously they've lost in that as well. Just the weekend there, you know. It's kind of hard, you know. Like they'll be a bit bitter without even thinking it, you know. I know they don't mean it. They would be quite happy to do an interview, but maybe let them cool off for 2 or 3 weeks.
I was thinking that, to be fair.
Yeah, but listen, God loves a tryer, so you may as well try it.
That's it. And the last time I met Bungard was actually at that On Top event, and I fanboyed him.
Did you?
I went up steaming asking for a picture. And I was like, I love you, by the way. And he's like, I love you too. He's like,
he's probably like, who's that homo?
He's probably like, you get to fuck, son.
I know. Fuck it, man. So anytime you want an interview, mate, just give them a wee shout and we'll get the crack, all right?
No, I appreciate that so much. Thanks very much.
No problem, buddy, and I'll speak to you soon, all right?
Speak to you soon, mate. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.